Chapter 1666, Intercept. Translator, Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios. The sea at night was turbulent with vicious waves. Wild winds were howling. From the black depths of the sea, a chain made of pearls of light started to shine. Next, intense drumming and zither music could be heard reverberating in the waves. The tens of merman warriors wore ancient armor made from seashells. They held up a huge white shell shield. Behind them, mermen danced and sang, surrounding Xia Mo and Dong Lei. Behind them, countless mermen were watching this final test with high spirits. The seashell floated to the surface of the sea. Waves landed on the huge shell and caused waves to splash. Surrounding the seashell, merman warriors did their best to stabilize it. The huge shell slowly opened up. This was a natural stage. The seashell had a great origin. It was left behind by the desolate beast giant music shell. There was a vast number of sound path down marks on the seashell, even if a mortal stood inside. Their voice would be spread far and wide. Dong Lei was the first to ascend the shell. Countless mermen floated to the surface of the sea, watching in anticipation at a corner. In a boat-like goo house, Bu Su Lian watched as she said to Frost Tide Tribe's leader, "Are you so confident in Dong Lei? The first person to perform has a natural disadvantage." Frost Tide Tribe's leader smiled. "Just watch. I cannot explain it in words." Bu Su Lian looked at Frost Tide Tribe's leader deeply before turning towards the giant music shell. Dong Lei started to sing. Her voice was clear and elegant. It was quite mesmerizing. All of the mermen started to indulge in this beautiful song at once. Due to the giant music shell's effect, in the radius of 1,000 li, Dong Lei's beautiful singing could be heard. Even the torrential tides were suppressed. Mermen were born with a throat that could sing better than other species. They could produce incredibly beautiful singing. According to human standards, each merman was a natural-born singer. This was because each merman's body had abundant water path down marks. And in their throats, there was a particular cartilage that was filled with sound path down marks. There was a point in history where humans slaughtered mermen to take away the sound path cartilage in their throats. It was an excellent sound path goo material, and the mermaids competing to become saintess had even better singing than most mermen. Those who live near the sea would often hear similar rumors about sailors who would get mesmerized by the singing of mermaids. They would forget time, forget their direction. They would not notice even if their ship hit a reef. This was not an exaggeration. It was the truth. Dong Lei's singing was superb. Most of the people were listening in enjoyment. Only Fang Yuan and the rest became furious. Their expressions were ugly, and they frowned tightly. Even Xia Mo, who was usually calm, had a change of expression. Sadness and shock was expressed in her eyes. What is going on? Why is Dong Lei singing the song that we prepared? The red-scaled and blue-scaled guards were furious with wide, opened eyes. Fang Yuan's expression was grim. He gritted his teeth. "Isn't this obvious? There is a spy among us. He informed the enemy of our song." Both guards looked at each other before turning to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan looked at them fearlessly. "Only the four of us know what songs we prepared. The traitor must be one of you." "Who is it?" Xia Mo could not be the traitor. So among Fang Yuan, blue scale and red scale, one of them had to be the traitor. "Bullshit. You are the traitor." Both guards were furious with red faces as they denied it. Xia Mo sighed, shaking her head. "There might not be a spy. They might have found out about our preparations through special information path methods." "Ha ha ha." Far away, Frost Tide Tribe's leader laughed loudly in his goo house. Bu Su Lian had been observing Xia Mo and the rest long ago. Seeing their expressions, she understood as her eyes shined. "You planted a spy near her?" Frost Tide Tribe's leader laughed continuously. "Of course. Xia Mo is too young and too naive to compete with me. Do you know the huge price I paid in order to get a spy this close to her?" Bu Su Lian's eyes flickered with bright light. "As expected and befitting of Frost Tide Tribe's leader, the price you paid is worth it. Now that Dong Lei has sang her song, Xia Mo cannot use it again. She is almost helpless now that she has no song to sing." Xia Mo had truly fallen deeply into the plot of Frost Tide Tribe's leader. The final round of the saintess competition was to sing 3 songs. These 3 songs needed special preparation. Sound path goo worms were needed for them, including lots of practice. Each song needed to produce a different effect. The first song was to calm the sea waves. The second song was to attract living beings, and the third song was to repel sea beasts. Thus, even though Xiahan Mo prepared 3 songs, after Dong Lei stole the first song, her remaining 2 songs were different and could not be used in its place. What do we do? Both guards were extremely flustered and anxious. Damn it. Damn it. We got so far, but still fell for a trap at this moment. It is no use. It is too late to prepare now. This must be the scheme of Frost Tide Tribe's leader. We will expose it and ruin his reputation. Red Scale screamed. Fang Yuan looked at him like he was an idiot. Do you have proof? Who would believe us? They would use this chance to counterattack and accuse you instead. What do we do then? Oh, Red-Scaled Guard was stunned. Xiahan Mo sighed deeply. In that case, forget it. Saintus. Both guards were stunned. Xiahan Mo smiled bitterly. You can still leave now, hurry. While there is still some time, leave this place. Xiahan Mo would lose the competition for the Saintess position. She would no longer be the Saintess. This way, she would face the attack of the new Saintess Dong Lei and Frost Tide Tribe's leader. She would have a terrible ENDTO not implicate her 3 followers, even if there was a possible spy among them. Xiahan Mo wanted to fight for some time. Saintess. Understanding Xiahan Mo's intention, both of her guards started to choke with tears. This situation had attracted everyone's attention. What happened to Xiahan Mo? Something bad seems to have happened. They are panicking. Haha. It seems that Lady Dong Lei's singing has sent them into despair. Xiahan Mo is finished. Inside the Gu house, Bu Su Lian sighed deeply. Frost Tide Tribe's leader smiled sinisterly. Even though I can't deal with that foolish old Grand Elder, I will definitely torture that Xiahan Mo after this to vent my anger and hatred. Dong Lei stepped down the stage as she raised her eyebrows. I have already calmed the sea by 5 feet. I will anticipate Sister Xiahan Mo's performance next. Chapter 1667, White Moonlight. To translator. Atlas Studios editor. Atlas Studios. Xiahan Mo looked at her deeply in the eye as she ascended the stage. She had just entered the stage when she got stunned. Why are you? She looked at Fang Yuan, who was beside her with deep shock. Fang Yuan interrupted her. As your follower, I am of course qualified to be your accompaniment. Quickly leave, Xiahan Mo swiftly said, but anxiety was all over her face for once. You want to sing the same song? Even if you sing better than Dong Lei, the rules will disqualify you. Trust me, I have a song for this. Fang Yuan interrupted Xiahan Mo as he transmitted. Xiahan Mo's heart wavered. Songs could not be changed easily, because they needed to be paired with Gu worms and needed lots of practice. It'd be why changing the song. The Gu worms used also needed to be modified. In this situation, Xiahan Mo could no longer change her Gu worms. This meant that the new song and the original song needed to have the same rhythm and melody. It might be possible given 100 days of preparation, but in this rushed situation, the chances were close to 0. The song is not the same, of course, but don't forget that I had participated in our song composition. I have a similar song here, but I need you to adapt to it on the spot. Take note of the cooperation between my song and the Gu worms. Fang Yuan transmitted. And these are the lyrics and tune. Xiahan Mo was stunned before nodding. Okay. Fang Yuan breathed in deeply. Then let's start. Xiahan Mo breathed in deeply. She shut her eyes. This was her usual habit before singing. Everyone became quiet. They waited quietly and waited. Why is she not singing yet? Gradually, some people became impatient. Haha. How can they sing? They have no songs to sing. Frost Tide Tribe's leader laughed loudly with a face flushed red. Oh, sorry. Can anyone lend me a zithergu? Fang Yuan broke the silence. Everyone, you are the accompaniment, but in this important sea god ceremony, you did not even prepare a zithergu. Is it really okay to be so lax? I need a rank 3 zithergu. Can anyone lend me one? Fang Yuan added, looking towards the Grand Elder. The Grand Elder understood his words. Xiahan Mo met with an accident. She had anticipated this and quickly asked someone to send a zithergu. Fang Yuan obtained the zithergu and said, "This is too important. Let me refine the gu on the spot." Everyone, what? At the last round of the sea god ceremony, you want to refine gu? Are you serious? What was this human gu master thinking? He was toying with everyone. The mood of all the mermen turned bad. Frost-Tide Tribe's leader quickly instructed his lackeys. A voice suddenly resounded. You are purposely stalling for time. Everyone was about to clamor when Fang Yuan shouted loudly. Are you saying that the sea god ceremony has a rule against refining goo? This is for the sake of the song. We will start after the goo is refined. Grand Elder quickly added. There are no such rules indeed. I will allow it. Quickly refine the goo and start. What does everyone think? The other elders looked at each other. Some wanted to speak while others stayed silent. Lackeys of Frost-Tide Tribe's leader shouted again. The sea god ceremony is such an important ceremony. You want all of us mermen to wait for your goo refinement? Fang Yuan quickly rebuked. I am refining goo for the sea god ceremony. Are you all unable to wait a little bit for this important ceremony? Whoever has no patience can stand up now. You can leave right away. Everyone went silent. You have a sharp tongue, but when you end up in my hands, I will make sure I smash all your teeth and pull out your tongue. Frost-Tide Tribe's leader snickered on the giant shell that was floating on the sea's surface. The merman warriors were exerting themselves while stabilizing it. Some of the mermen floated to the surface, some only had their heads above the water, but all of them were looking at Fang Yuan refine his zither goo. One Xiahan Mo was instead ignored. She stood beside Fang Yuan feeling very strange. She had attended the sea god ceremony once before and became the saintess. She had seen countless sea god ceremonies, but never had such a thing ever happened. Fang Yuan's refinement speed became faster and faster. This was because the zither goo's owner cooperated with him. After getting the zither goo, Fang Yuan stood up and went behind Xiahan Mo, saying confidently, All right, the real show starts now. Finally, the mermen let out breaths of air, feeling resentful. Go ahead and sing. I want to see what song you can come up with. Frost-Tide Tribe's leader snickered. Below the stage, the Grand Elder and both guards had worried expressions. Xiahan Mo shut her eyes at this moment. The zither started playing. Fang Yuan had activated the zither goo. It let out a long and deep melody. The tune was extremely beautiful to listen to. Xiahan Mo shut her eyes. She started to sing one. The white moonlight is somewhere in my heart that it is so bright, yet so icy cold. Everyone has their own sadness, wanting to conceal it, but it just became more obvious. Everyone was silent. Only the sound of waves could be heard. Her beautiful voice intoxicated everyone. They could not stop savoring it. The white moonlight lightens the horizons of the world that's in my heart, but not by my side that I could not wipe the tears off your face back then. The road is too long. I could not seek forgiveness. The tune was sorrowful but simple and elegant. It progressed smoothly with each verse. A feeling of intense sadness and agony filled everyone's hearts. Han Mo had a pure and penetrating voice. She was gentle and warm, just like the pale white moonlight that seemed cold and also a little warm on the inside. The giant shell started to emit a white light. The waves did not seem to want to disturb her beautiful singing. They became weaker. The white moonlight lightens the horizons of the world. The fuller it is, the more loneliness I feel, unable to wipe the tears in my recollection. The road is too long. How can I make amendments to you? Xiahan Mo was also engrossed in it. Her gaze shifted towards Fang Yuan, who was standing there activating the zither goo with his full concentration. She thought to herself, Is there sorrow in your heart as well? Countless mermen shed tears, the pain of love and affection. These tears were hidden deep in their hearts. Was there true fulfillment in this world? Loneliness always existed. The white moonlight is somewhere in my heart that it is so bright, yet so icy cold. Everyone has their own sadness, wanting to conceal it, but it just keeps growing. As the song ended, the crowd remained silent in the goo house. Frost-Tide Tribe's leader was stiff like a statue, shock expressed all over his face. The sea was calm, and the dark clouds scattered. Pure moonlight shone down on the giant seashell, enveloping Xiahan Mo and Fang Yuan. The two turned around slightly, looking at each other. Chapter 1668, Too Naive. Translator, Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios. As the music ended, the mermen started to converse among themselves. What song is this? This is the first time I have heard it. It is simply too amazing. Did you all notice? The song was superb, but Xiahan Mo was not skillful. Her goo worm manipulation had lots of errors. Many mermen talked about it with strange expressions. The true reason was that Fang Yuan and Xiahan Mo did not practice this earlier. If they had even one practice, they would not make such mistakes. But even so, reaching such a level of cooperation in their first attempt, Xiahan Mo's personal attainment was truly profound. Right now, the sea is calm and the weather has changed. The dark clouds scattered and the moonlight reappeared. Regardless of Xiahan Mo's mistakes, the results are evident. This should be a draw. In fact, Xiahan Mo should have a slight lead. It will depend on the next two songs. The mermen were getting more excited about the rest of the sea god ceremony. The Grand Elder could notice many things. She let out a breath of air as the worry in her heart lifted. What is going on? In the Gu house, Frost-Tide Tribe's leader screamed. It seems that although your scheme succeeded, an accident occurred. Bu Su-Lien squinted her eyes. Focusing her gaze on Fang Yuan, she sighed in amazement. This man is not so simple. No wonder Xiahan Mo took interest in him. I am a song expert. This is likely his own creation. This shows that this human has very high attainment in sound path. Two Frost-Tide Tribe's leader expressed his suspicions. There are countless songs in this world. How can you be sure that this was his creation? Bu Su-Lien smiled lightly, looking at Frost-Tide Tribe's leader with an expression of disdain in her eyes. You don't understand. Frost-Tide Tribe's leader's face became even darker. Bu Su-Lien, can you speak clearly? Bu Su-Lien chuckled coldly, ignoring Frost-Tide Tribe's leader as she looked towards Fang Yuan with glistening eyes. Others would fear Frost-Tide Tribe's leader's political power, but Bu Su-Lien was an exception. This was not only because she was the spouse of a former tribe elder, but also because of her own talent and schemes. But Bu Su-Lien guessed wrongly in the end. Fang Yuan was not the creator. This song was originally from Earth. This song is unique and unheard of. It has to be a new creation by you. To think that you would have such high attainment in sound path, Fang Yuan. Xiahan Mo walked down the stage and transmitted to Fang Yuan, showing appreciation and praise in her tone. Fang Yuan smiled bitterly. I am flattered. You saw for yourself. I even had to borrow a zithergu. I do not have such a high sound path attainment. No need to be humble. Being able to create such a song means that your sound path attainment is beyond ordinary. You might have a future if you change to cultivating sound path. Xiahan Mo looked at Fang Yuan with a sincere and bright gaze. Fang Yuan had already anticipated this. He did not want to explain it, because that was not important, and he could not explain it clearly either. The important thing now are the next two songs. If I am not wrong, Fang Yuan hesitated. They walked down the stage as Dong Lei went up. Fang Yuan and Xiahan Mo might have had an impressive performance, but she was not flustered. She remained calm and composed. She started to sing. Her moving voice attracted lots of fish groups to her. As expected, Fang Yuan snickered. Xiahan Mo's gaze also became increasingly cold. Both guards looked at each other with bright red faces. This bitch stole our song again. Don't worry, I have a song prepared. Fang Yuan smiled with deep confidence. After Dong Lei went down the stage, the two of them went up again. Fang Yuan played the music one, while Xiahan Mo sang and danced. When did the bright moon first appear? One raises a cup and asks the blue sky. One does not know in the celestial palace what year it is this evening. Once the song started, the atmosphere changed. All of the mermen shut their eyes in enjoyment. I wish to ride the wind and return there, yet I fear the jade towers. In a high dwelling, one cannot bear the cold. Starting to dance with one's own shadow, how can it compare to life in the mortal world? The moon revolves around the red pavilion. Hanging upon the silk windows, the light shines upon the sleepless. Xiahan Mo thought about the time she was saintess. Even though she had high authority, she was all alone. She became filled with deep emotions at this moment. That I wish to return by riding the winds. But the position of saintess is like the jade tower that locks me in. The cold atmosphere is chilling. I cannot sleep. Who is here to dance with me? I should not have resentment. But why is the moon always full at times of separation? People feel sorrow and joy upon partings and reunions. The moon can be dark or bright, full or crescent. These problems have existed since ancient times. Yet one hopes for longevity, 1,000 miles apart, seeing the moon's beauty together. As the song ended, the world went silent. Fish, prawns, turtles, crabs, All of the aquatic animals floated on the surface of the sea, scattered all over the place. Birds were fluttering in the sky. Many were birds that flew in the day. They were drawn over from their slumber by this beautiful song. Beautiful lyrics and an enchanting tune. It pierced deep into everyone's hearts. The mermen could not help themselves but listen. Xiaohanemo looked at Fang Yuan. She thought, was this a song he made for me? She could feel resonance in the lyrics. She felt consolation and warmth from it. She was pure like the icy jade, but was maligned by outsiders. Right now, all of the sadness and annoyance in her heart had faded. None of the rumors from before could affect her heart anymore. He is someone who knows me. At once, Xiaohanemo felt an indescribable feeling in her heart. She was truly moved. The results were clear. Fang Yuan and Xiaohanemo won by a margin again. Dong Lei's face turned pale below the stage. She understood that if not for Xiaohanemo and Fang Yuan's imperfect cooperation that led to certain mistakes, she would not even be able to sing the third song. This person is a huge threat. Frost Tide Tribe's leader gritted his teeth, slamming his fist onto the window of the Gu house. You finally realized? Bu Su Lian said plainly. Mockery was in her words. Frost Tide Tribe's leader snorted. He did not want to argue with Bu Su Lian that he needed to resolve this problem now, because at this rate, after the third song, Xiaohanemo was bound to win. Fang Yuan, is it? To think he is such a problem. I need to get rid of him. Frost Tide Tribe's leader was determined to do this, but felt a huge headache. In normal times, he had countless methods against Fang Yuan, but now during the Sea God ceremony, under everyone's watchful eyes, he could do close to nothing. What do I do? Frost Tide Tribe's leader thought about it rapidly. His forehead was covered in sweat. After a long period of consideration, Frost Tide Tribe's leader finally acted. Fang Yuan, I am Frost Tide Tribe's leader. He directly transmitted to Fang Yuan. This was the most useful choice of action. Fang Yuan's expression changed, but he did not reply. Frost Tide Tribe's leader chuckled. You can just listen to me. I know you are a smart guy, but you are too young. You have aspirations that are too unrealistic and naive. Fang Yuan laughed coldly as he replied. I am not naive. This is my ideal. You won't understand. That's why I said you are foolish, lad. Don't think that you too are basking in fame now by standing there. You are just pawns. Look at the flag fluttering in the wind. Its foundation is the pole. Think about it. What are you relying on? The Grand Elder? Just go ask around. What kind of person is she? She had the political power to suppress our faction, but she chose to let you people be the vanguard. When Xiaohanemo investigated the corruption case, did she help you? She might have given you some clues or whatnot, but trust me, it was really not much of an effort. Frost Tide Tribe's leader was quite eloquent. He added, or rather, even if you win and defend the title of Saintess, so what? Do you think I will die? No, Frost Tide Tribe is the largest faction in the Sacred Court. If I die, the entire Sacred Court will be in turmoil or even break apart. The Grand Elder does not have the guts or determination to do that. She only wants to keep me in check and prevent me from acting out of line. So in the end, no matter what you find out, I will still continue to live as Frost Tide Tribe's leader. At worst, I will sacrifice a few scapegoats and stop my overbearing actions. In the Sea God ceremony, almost every Saintess candidate is backed by their own force. Do you think this is simply a competition for the Saintess position? No, this is a game. This is a way for the higher-ups to distribute resources for the next few decades without internal conflict. The force that has a Saintess will get a bigger share of the pie. Those who don't will receive less. Fang Yuan, you might hate or detest these games that we play in the dark, but you must understand that in this sea, darkness is the true ruler. The so-called light merely shines at the surface of the sea. Ordinary people might enjoy or indulge in its dazzling beauty, thinking that light is the truth of the sea, but they are just too naive. Fang Yuan was silent. Chapter 1669, Rejection. Translator, Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios. Inside the Blue Dragon Whale Grotto Heaven, the Merman's sacred city, the atmosphere in the inn was heavy. What do we do? In the next test, Zhao Lu's follower will be taking part. That person is famous in the seas. With him around, we have no chance of winning. The two nannies had grim expressions. The white-scaled merman Su sat at the center as she held a cup in her hand. She was in a daze while looking at the tea inside. Missy, you cannot hesitate anymore. That's right. The sea god ceremony has already gone on for so long. Only us and Zhao Lu are left. The rest have been eliminated. After the next round is the final test. Once we get past this hurdle, we will be able to vie for the saintess position. The two nannies urged anxiously Sui's side. But what can we do now? The nannies quickly came forward to Su Yi's side. Missy, didn't our tribe find a strong expert that can fight against the enemy? That's right. As long as we get him to fight, even if we cannot win, we will not get eliminated at least. Su Yi's gaze was lingering on the cup. She said in a long sigh. I understand your suggestion, but did you forget something? I can only have 4 followers in this competition. These spots are all used up now. Even if the tribe invites an expert, we cannot use him. The two nannies looked at each other with bright gazes. So that's it. Missy had such plans already, but she could not say it personally. They understood the reason now. Among them, one nanny said in a soft voice, Missy, this matter can be easy or difficult depending on us. We just need to abandon one follower. That's right. The other nanny added, according to the sea god ceremony's rules, we cannot abandon followers easily. But if they are corrupted or have committed crimes, for the purity of the sea god ceremony and the saintess, we can expel them with proper reason. With that freed follower position, we can then invite the expert into our group, right? Su Yi's expression changed as she rejected. This is not appropriate. The sea god ceremony is such a huge event. If a scandal occurs, that person's reputation would be tarnished for life. They would never be able to clear their name. All of my followers have helped me greatly. How can I repay gratitude with enmity? Oh, Missy, a great person would not mind small sacrifices. So what if we have to give up someone? I would suggest we target that Xiaolin. She has no background and is a mermaid that nobody will care about. Who knows what luck she had to be able to obtain that gather oil goo. Seeing Su Yi's displeasure, Nanny Rong added, Of course, we are not framing her. We are trying to move her with logic. Xiaolin looks like an understanding young lady after all. Missy, leave this to me. I will negotiate with her. It is okay if we pay a small price. Compared to the saintess position, it is evident which is more important. This, Su Yi hesitated. The other nanny quickly added, Missy, we are not forcing or harming Xiaolin. We are seeking her cooperation, in any case. So what if she loses some reputation? Xiaolin is a poor girl. She needs some materialistic gains more. It is very likely that after hearing our suggestion, she might become very happy and would want to deal with us. She is merely trading reputation for huge benefits. Leave. Let me consider it first. Su Yi frowned as she asked them to leave. The two nannies looked at each other before leaving. Days later, rumors regarding Xiaolin spread throughout the city. That's her, the shameless mermaid who betrayed her benefactor Su Yi just to gain the favor of the rich and noble. No wonder Lady Su Yi was always at a disadvantage. She had a traitor after all. I want nothing more than to tear the tendons and skin out of this scoundrel. She is truly shameless. I can't believe she is still coming to find Su Yi at this time. Xiaolin bit her lips, walking up the inn stairs under everyone's accusations. Stand there. Halfway through, mermaid Nanny Rong blocked Xiaolin with a cold expression. I was framed. I want to see Sister Su Yi. Xiaolin raised her head, looking at Nanny Rong with an anxious expression. Nanny Rong laughed coldly. Xiaolin, you still want to act? Missy was very upset after hearing the news. You still want to see her now during a crucial moment of the sea god ceremony? You are truly vicious. You want to annoy our Missy and cause her to make mistakes in the competition later. That's not it. Nanny Rong, listen to me. Listen to what? What is there to say? You are a shameless scum. We were blind to accept you into our group. Scram. Nanny Rong lost her patience. She screamed in a shrill voice, being very overbearing. You don't believe me, but I believe in Sister Su Yi. If I don't get to see her, I will not leave. Xiaolin's eyes were red. A light of stubbornness flickered in them. You are forcing me to chase you away? Nanny Rong said sinisterly. Stop. At this time, Su Yi appeared, walking down the stairs. Sister Su Yi. Xiaolin was overjoyed. She wanted to move forward, but Nanny Rong's arms blocked her path. Xiaolin. Su Yi said to Xiaolin with a complex tone. Sister Su Yi, you need to believe me. I did not betray you, Xiao Lin shouted. Do you need us to investigate it? At this moment, a group of mermen charged into the inn. They drew all the attention away. This group of mermen walked towards Xiao Lin as they said, Xiao Lin, right? I am the sacred city's investigator. Someone reported you for corruption. You betrayed Su Yi and tried to ruin the sacred sea god ceremony. You tried to manipulate the saint as competition. We are now arresting you. Follow us and tell us everything that you did. No, I am innocent. Xiao Lin turned pale from fright. She shouted loudly in retaliation. We will investigate whether you are innocent or not. The investigator was very cold. No, I will not leave with you. I was framed. Someone framed me. Xiao Lin was frightful. She continued to shake her head. You don't want to leave with us? You don't have a choice. Come, arrest her. The investigator ordered as the Mermangu masters behind him acted. Wait. At this moment, Sui spoke. Sister Su Yi. Xiao Lin's eyes shined with a light of hope. But Su Yi shook her head. Sister Xiao Lin, I do not believe that you betrayed me. But the investigator is here. We need to believe in Sacred City's justice. I believe that they will clear your name. Go with them. As long as the results come out, your innocence will be proven, right? Sister Su Yi, Xiao Lin's eyes turned dim. Go with them. Xiao Lin lowered her head, walking towards the investigator. I was framed, but I will go with you. The investigator nodded in satisfaction. That's right, come with us. Xiao Lin was quickly brought into the interrogation room. Comment, these information pathgu worms are all evidence. Take a good look. I will give you some advice. Don't think you can get out of this. The investigator smiled sinisterly, pointing at the information path mortal goo on the table. Xiao Lin looked into them one by one. Soon, shock was expressed all over her face. These videos and voices are all fake. I have never said such things. That is your explanation against all this evidence? Who would believe you? The investigator chuckled. I have never said such things. Xiao Lin was anxious. The investigator raised his arm, stopping Xiao Lin from talking. He smiled. I know you were framed. Xiao Lin was stunned. What did you say? You were framed. The investigator repeated himself. Xiao Lin was stunned. She blinked before saying, in that case, why did you? Because this was Lady Su Yi's request. The investigator laughed again. What do you mean? Don't try to sow discord between us. Xiao Lin was enraged. You are truly a naive little girl. Let me explain it to you then. You know who Lady Su Yi's father is, right? Do you know the current situation of the sea god ceremony? Comment, the investigator spoke as Xiao Lin went into deep shock upon hearing his words. After a long while, she reacted. I do not believe that this is Sister Su Yi's plot. If she wants me to step down, I can leave. If she told me herself, I would not have rejected her. The investigator looked at Xiao Lin with a mocking expression, rebuking mercilessly. Is the sea god ceremony an event where you can just leave like that? If anyone could just step down, this competition would just be a pure contest between forces. The only way to step down is by force. At the same time, that position left behind could be filled again. Xiao Lin said in a daze. A situation like this, the investigator smiled. Indeed, you've grown smarter. All right, you have two choices now. The first choice is to deny this evidence and fight for your innocence. But this evidence is concrete. Nobody will believe your words. The second choice is to cooperate with us, admit to the crime, and even though you will lose reputation, we will repay you with abundant resources. Choose now. Xiao Lin smiled bitterly, lowering her head. Did she have a choice? The other party tricked her into this interrogation room. At this point, she could no longer reject them. Even if she tried to, she would still be framed and trialed as guilty. She did not have the strength to resist them. She did not have the right to reject them. Silence. After a long silence, the investigator spoke. Xiao Lin, if you keep silent any longer, I will take it that you accept our proposition. The facts are simple and clear. I believe a smart person will make a wise choice. This benefits both of us, isn't that right? I reject the offer. Xiao Lin suddenly raised her head as she spoke. Chapter 1670, Racing Heart. Translator, Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios, reject. The investigator frowned. A cold light flickered in his eyes and his tone became much tougher. Young lady, think properly. You are young. You should not be impulsive. You need to know the weak cannot contend with the strong, let alone that you can't even be considered weak. I know I have no one to rely on. I am just a small character, which was why you all targeted me. Isn't that so? Xiaolin looked straight at the investigator. Her tone was filled with mockery, but also bitterness and helplessness. But you don't have to worry. I won't make a useless retaliation or file a complaint. I accept your false accusation. I will consider it as paying back Sister Su Yi's kindness. I don't want any compensation. From now on, we no longer have any debt to each other. We will just be strangers. When the investigator revealed a surprised expression as he looked at Xiaolin firmly. In the dim room, Xiaolin's eyes seemed to shine brightly. This pair of bright eyes directly shined on the investigator's heart, making him unable to match her gaze. He quickly moved his gaze. You can leave. I hope you can uphold what you said. I will. Xiaolin stood up and left with a calm expression that contained no anxiety. Several days later, Lady Xiaolin, it is not that our inn does not want to do business with you, but that the public sentiment is too fierce and many people have made reports. If we continue to let you stay here, they will, the innkeeper said with a bitter expression. Xiaolin stopped him from continuing the story. I understand your situation. I will leave then. I thank you for the understanding, Lady Xiaolin. You truly are a good person. The innkeeper said as he thanked profusely and gratefully. Xiaolin packed up her luggage and left her room, walking down the stairs. Look, it is her. This woman secretly betrayed Lady Su Yi for her own personal gains. This kind of person is simply tarnishing the sea god ceremony and our sacred city. The Gu masters inside the hall saw Xiaolin and started discussing while pointing fingers at her. Xiaolin heard them but walked out of the inn with a calm and composed expression. When she arrived at the wide main street, a bustling tide of people was moving along the path. Today is the day of the second last test of the sea god ceremony. I can barely wait. Today is sure to be spectacular. Do you guys know? Su Yi had been in a disadvantageous position for so long because there was a spy by her side. Who does not know of it? It's Xiaolin. As the saying goes, no matter how vigilant one is, they cannot defend against an internal threat. Most of the people did not recognize Xiaolin. Their attention was on the sea god ceremony as they hurried towards the central square. Even if some people recognized Xiaolin, they were not absolutely certain. The sacred city was extremely crowded at this time. It was normal for there to be one or two people with similar appearances. The atmosphere was bustling. The people were jostling through the street as joy filled everyone. Xiaolin mixed in with the crowd. Her expression was tranquil, a stark contrast with her surroundings. She had felt happy before, but now, it was like layers of heavy mist had gathered in her nostrils, making her feel difficulty in breathing. She could no longer feel happy in this sacred city or satisfy her curiosity. Maybe, I will never come here again in my life. Xiaolin raised her head slightly, looking at the tall buildings. These buildings seemed to be slanting down. The whole sacred city seemed to be pressing towards her. Xiaolin felt increasingly depressed and frustrated. She quickened her pace and left the crowd, walking into a dark alley. The alley was dim and dark. Trash was piled up in corners, spreading stench throughout the alley. Xiaolin, however, felt her breathing become much smoother, as if a huge weight had been lifted out of her heart. Walking in this dark alley devoid of people, Xiaolin's raised head drooped slowly. How did I reach this state? She asked herself but obtained no answer. Her eyes reddened, and she soon turned tearful. She was still a young girl. Her previous strong attitude was just a facade. Hello, young lady. Three mermen suddenly walked out of a corner of the alley. Xiaolin was dazed for a moment before turning vigilant. These three mermen were hooligans. Their ill intentions were clearly exposed by their gazes. More importantly, every one of them was a rank 2 Gu master. Xiaolin was also only rank 2. What do you want? Xiaolin took a step back. What do we want? Hee hee. The three mermen looked at each other, laughing deviously at the same time. Young lady, our encounter was fated. Why be in a hurry to leave? Even if you want to leave now, it is too late. At this moment, two rank 2 merman Gu masters walked towards Xiaolin from behind. Xiaolin's heart sank. Not only was it 5 against 1, both the front and rear paths were blocked. Although this alley was not far from the main street, these people were all Gu masters and had clearly been lying in ambush. They definitely had methods to suppress the commotion. The 5 mermen approached Xia Lin menacingly. One Xia Lin was panicking. She retreated again and again till her back touched the wall. The cold wall made her feel even more helpless. She gritted her teeth. Her brows rose as she suddenly said, "Come, even if I die, I will drag you down with me." Oh dear, the little girl has guts. Quite fiery, big brother likes such girls. The 5 mermen giggled in amusement. They showed no fear, but their footsteps had slowed down. Bump. Suddenly, Xia Lin felt an intense dizziness. She was attacked. Her mind was filled with fright as she turned to look back with difficulty. She saw the wall melt down from which the 6th merman Gu master walked out. They got me. The moment before she fell unconscious, Xia Lin's heart turned cold. She is down. Ha! Boss, your method is truly amazing. Quickly clean up this place. The sea god ceremony is currently ongoing after all. The 6 mermen gathered around Xia Lin. Wake up, wake up. A deep voice lingered in the darkness. Xia Lin slowly opened her eyes. The alley was once again reflected in her eyes. The pain behind her head reminded her. She got a fright and quickly struggled to stand up. She then saw the 6 mermen lying on the ground motionless in strange postures. A human Gu master was standing in the middle of the 6 mermen. Xia Lin cried out with joy. Master Chu, it's you. It's me. I have been observing the sea god ceremony from the start. I heard of your matter as well. You were tossed aside by Su Yi, right? Fang Yuan slightly smiled. Xia Lin's tear immediately started to fall as she sobbed. Master Chu, I have good judgment of people. Although I have only met you a few times, you are not that kind of person. Fang Yuan continued. Xia Lin could not hold it in anymore as she covered her face and started crying. Like a wronged child finally getting vindicated. Fang Yuan quietly watched her cry for some time before patting her shoulder. Let's go. To where? Xia Lin was slightly dazed. I am also slightly responsible for your current situation. Fang Yuan sighed. If I did not give you gather oil Gu, you would not have been targeted by Su Yi and participated in this sea god ceremony. So, I am taking you with me. Follow me and leave. Okay. Xia Lin nodded. She no longer had no interest in Sacred City. Fang Yuan led the way while Xia Lin obediently followed behind him. At the end of the alley, there was another branch of the main street. It was also crowded with the stores at the sides enjoying bustling business. At the center of the street, there was a lion dance team. Facing the crowd again, Xia Lin immediately felt some fear and disgust, but Fang Yuan had already walked ahead so she could only follow. Snap. The moment they walked out of the alley, Fang Yuan snapped his fingers. The next scene stupefied Xia Lin. Her mouth opened so wide that it could swallow an egg. She shockingly saw the whole street coming to a standstill. This, she was unable to speak. Just a small trick, come. Fang Yuan waved towards her before entering the crowd. Xia Lin quickened her pace, following behind closely. This was a wondrous situation that she had never experienced before. She walked right past 2 mermen who looked like they were having a close conversation and seemed to be lovers. She looked at a store where a customer seemed to be haggling price with the clerk. Spittle flew out of the clerk's mouth and was suspended in the air, almost landing on the customer's face. There was a dog which was moving past the tightly packed legs and merman tails. Its body was bent as it was moving around a blue-scaled merman. Its 3 legs were raised high while one was on the ground. Xia Lin stared widely at these people with various lives. The liveliness in them made her forget her depression and frustration. Fang Yuan was extremely agile and walked quite quickly. It was quite tiring for Xia Lin to follow him. In a moment of carelessness, she bumped into a sturdy human Gu master. The human Gu master swayed. His posture was still the same walking posture from before, but his feet had almost left the ground. He started tilting to the side. Sorry. She was just about to prop up this human Gu master when she was grabbed by Fang Yuan. 2-inch here. Fang Yuan gave her a mask. Master Chu, this, Xia Lin was puzzled. Fang Yuan did not lead her away from the street, but brought her in front of that lion dance team. The mask that Fang Yuan gave her was colorful and made from fish scales and bird feathers. Fang Yuan pointed to the lion dance team. Don't you think it lacks 2 key characters? Xia Lin nodded. They are playing the Sea Lion Winter Spring Opera. They are short of the male and female leading characters, a filial fisherman and a traveling mermaid princess. But I think this performance was a spontaneous idea. They are not a real opera team. It is normal for them to not have all the characters. Likely at the start, one Gu master put on the opera costume and makeup for his own entertainment. Later, along the way, more Gu masters joined in. These people were generally opera fans and loved such culture.I. In fact, there were all kinds of traditional opera and plays that existed in the grotto heaven. It was the trending entertainment of this paradise. My method can only last for a short while. Put on the mask quickly. We will move with the crowd. Fang Yuan hurried Xiaolin, not giving her the chance to refuse. Oh, okay. Xiaolin subconsciously took the mask, and when she wore it, her heart suddenly calmed down. No one would recognize her like this. The mental pressure on her had greatly reduced, but shortly afterwards, her face blushed. Because she saw Fang Yuan wear a mask, and it was the mask of the filial fisherman. Doesn't this mean that Master Chu and I are the main male and female characters? Xiaolin's heart started to race wildly.